Now I gotta find the live link. Oh, why'd I just exit out everything?
What's Welcome back to episode 11 of the Par None podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Hernandez. This is your other host, PJR. So sorry for the delay. It's all my fault. You can blame me. I have 3 kiddos at home, and 2 of them decided to have a bedtime meltdown, as anybody with small kids probably understands. And so my wife and I were tag teaming, trying to comfort the 2 who didn't want to go to sleep in their room tonight and also watching a sleeping baby. And so you can put that all on me. But we are here. We are live. For those of you who have stuck around, which may be 1 or 2 of you. But we are here. So welcome, PGR. Welcome. What's up?
Howdy. Not a whole lot. Just another usual week of consuming more golf than the average human being. Don't know if that's healthy or unhealthy yet. Only time will tell. But I gotta say, I really like your hat, Ryan. I really like it.
I really like your hat too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about like what you're doing with that, man?
Well, we've been trying to grow these brands. We've been at it for quite a while, and so we just had a crazy idea. Why not? We both have cool logos, and so instead of wearing other people's brands, which are great, we thought, why not put our own brand on a hat? And so you got yours, I've got mine. They turned out awesome.
Yes.
We both have basically the exact same hats, just with our logos on them. And so from now on, we're going to just rep our own stuff instead of other people's stuff for the most part. So expect to see these hats pretty much every week on the podcast and in our videos. But we're super excited. I mean, it's one of those things, and you never actually, there's things that you think about and you're just like, oh man, like one day, if you would have told me a year ago that I was going to have my own logo on a hat, I would have just kind of like laughed at you and been like, no, that's never going to happen. Like I'm, not that I'm big by any stretch of the imagination, but just that even to get to that point was just like such a far off thing. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, have you ever thought about? I had this thought the other day because I'm super stoked to have the logo and have the hat. And I get to rep Curated on one side, Callaway on another. Legally, we cannot sell these hats. Just to let everyone know, because we don't feel like getting sued. So there's that. But this was kind of like a thing for us that we did. I don't know about you, but I'm already working on my own hats as well. But I had the thought, what if I would have done this 5 years ago? What logo would have I had? And I had nothing positive came to mind whatsoever on that. Like, it would have been like a beer can or a lot of beer cans or other unsavory things, depending on who you ask. Unsavory. That's a good word, isn't it? Unsavory.
Yeah. 5 years ago, I wasn't even in the golf world besides playing, just like playing it for fun. So I would have had some sort of probably baseball logo. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't even in a social media game. I remember when thinking like Instagram was silly, and I was like, I just don't want to post pictures of myself. And now it's kind of, one of 2 really go-to apps, 1 of 3 go-to things that influencers have now. So it's just funny how all of that has changed over time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. 5 years ago would have been a completely different animal.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited till I matured and had money to do it, because it would have just been complete dog shit. Like, it would have been so bad. I would have been so embarrassed, and everyone would remember me as this guy with this awful logo. I personally like my logo now. I feel like it's mature. It's like a symbol. I feel like Prince. I'm short like Prince. That's about the only thing we have in common. This is a vertically challenged
like Prince. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, sure, we'll go with that.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
So did you have a chance to watch any of the RBC Heritage this last week?
Yeah, I did. Not as much as, sorry, I'm trying to post our live link on Instagram in real time.
Gotcha. Well, I watched it. I'll let you jump in when you want to. I loved it. Yes. the follow-up to the Masters, you kind of expect something lackluster. But even this week going into the Zurich, which we'll talk about that later, the field's freaking awesome. But the field last week was great. We already talked about Rory being a punk and backing out of the event. Not getting back into that. I'm still kind of butthurt on that one. But we had a hell of a show. I still think we need to talk a little bit more about Cantlay's slow play. That's getting painful. Did you see that video? It took Happy Gilmore like faster to 4-putt than it took for Cantlay to tee off. And like I thought it was just a joke, and then I actually watched it. And I was like trying to watch the people in the background, like this has to be looped. I'm like, I don't think it was.
No,
I think it took him that long to hit that tee shot.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. There's been a lot of those going around. I saw a guy. Pardon me. Well, I saw a guy like standing behind Cantlay at the tournament, like timing and like turning his phone to the camera and kind of timing how long it's taking Cantlay to do things. So, I mean, I always knew that he was a slow player, and I guess I never realized how slow until like it kind of got pointed out. And I know Rahm and Koepka back to the Masters are like very quick players, but I mean, I feel for him. That would drive me absolutely bonkers if.
Maybe he's doing it on purpose. Could you imagine if you know you're not going to get dinged for slow play? You're like, you know what? Screw these guys. I'm going to bog them all down because he knows he can play well slow. Everyone else can't play well slow. So when they start penalizing him, does he have much incentive to speed up? No, if it's going to have a negative impact on the other golfers, slow down. Screw him. Yeah. He's going to get him more W's, even though he still didn't win, but he still is. It's good to see Cantlay playing good golf because I do like Cantlay. I do think he has a personality of a block of wood, but I do enjoy him. I think he's just what he does around the greens to me is absolutely fantastic. That shot he hit off the rails there was freaking phenomenal.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's a problem, and I don't understand why they don't penalize these guys for this. I don't know if it's like it looks bad on the game. I go, it looks worse on the game when it's 5.5 hours of golf or 5 hours of golf. And don't get me wrong, I love watching good golf, and I'll watch golf for hours and hours on end. But there's a point where it just feels like you can just tell they're recycling footage just because they're waiting on some people to get going. You know what I mean? So that was it's a little ridiculous. So
agreed. I think we talked a little bit about this last week too. They should absolutely penalize these guys, and I don't understand why they don't. To your point, like they're never going to learn a lesson if you don't do it. I don't know what I know what the answer is. I just don't know. I don't know if I ever see it.
Hell, Fitzy's even speaking out about it. Like Fitzpatrick's getting vocal. He's never vocal. Right. For him to come out and just say, this is ridiculous, start giving people penalties. You're like, dude, you've never said a contentious thing in your entire life. Right. So it's just real interesting that that was the case. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I mean, I think, kind of to piggyback off that, this is kind of related and not really just talking about like penalizing people. I know you're not really ready to talk about it, but like the whole Rory thing, again, with him missing the tournament, and, not to open up a huge, and they ended up penalizing him $3 million. That really hurts Rory, I don't think, in the long run.
He doesn't care.
I think the thing for me is like, they penalized him, but they're still missing it. Unless, I guess $3 million is a consequence, I suppose, but
not to him.
It's just hard. No, not to him, and it's hard to watch these dudes or especially Rory, just kind of be the face of this whole idea, and then miss a second event. And I know a lot of people are like, it's not a big deal. Why is it bothering you so much? And that's a fair point as well. But it just hurt me that him of anybody would not show up. And I know a lot of people were like, well, everybody's exhausted. It's like, yeah, but there are people out there who have real jobs who are exhausted that have to go to work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I get that the Masters is really draining, and I can't imagine like the stress and like of your body trying to play a high-end athletic event like that. I've never played professional sports, so I can't really speak to that. There are, tons of jobs that are very stressful where people go to them every day, day after day, without having to get a day off, like doctors, nurses, firefighters. I mean, people who put their life on the line and stuff like that. So it's just like,
this has a lot to do with like modern day athletes, in my opinion, though. Because I mean, if you want to look at this across the board, if you look at like the NBA and the NFL, I mean, I remember being a kid, like nobody sat out games, nobody took a rest day. You know what I mean? Look at Kobe. There was no quit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, and I understand the perspective of trying to let your body heal and rest, but at the same time, these guys have endless amounts of money. They can do these whole immune things where they can go in there and recover in like a day. They have the best doctors, the best nutritionists, the best physios. Like, no, like I'm sorry you're tired, but like that's I don't buy it. You know what I mean? Like, just it's one of those things. Like, just be honest. Be like, I'm pissed off at my golf game. I don't feel like playing. I need to work this out, and I know playing a tournament is only going to do more harm than good. Just come out and say that. I would have much more respect for you than going, "Oh, I'm tired." Like, what do you mean you're tired? You were golfing on Sunday with JT, and you posted like a 64 with him. Clearly, you're not that tired. You know, and you know there are no real negative. $3 million is nothing to Rory, so I don't think he really gives a shit. And so, but there are no real consequences to anything like that. You know what I mean? Money is not an issue to them. And also, this starts to slip the slope. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, well, that's a slap in the wrist. So who's going to be the next guy that bows out of it? And this is coming from a fan's perspective. Say you bought tickets to this event 3 months ago, and you saw the people that were going to be in the field. You're like, oh, it's an elevated event. Rory's going to be there. JT's going to be there. All these people are going to be there. Then your favorite golfer backs out of it. Like, you're gonna be pissed as a fan. From a fan's perspective, you're gonna be mad. That's not, and that's why Rom even played. Rom is like, I committed to this event. The fans said, he's like, and I think the fans want to see the Masters champion. So absolutely, I'm gonna show up and play. And he did, and he played pretty damn well. He has some amazing golf shots. Considering he just won the Masters, he played exceptionally well. And there was actually a point after the second day, I'm like, my God, if he wins this tournament, like it's just next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree. Your first point about modern day athletes, just like growing up watching, you know, like Cal Ripken play, you know, 2,100 games in a row and didn't sit out, and
that's insane.
You know, I mean, just that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I entered my like sports, especially with baseball. So like I'm very old school when I think about that, and this whole like planned day of rest, or we're going to sit players because, you know, the playoffs are about to start. We don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't know. Just like, to me, I just think about like you play a sport for a living and you get paid millions of dollars to do it. Like they come to see the starting, you know, the top players in the world or the starting sport. It's like, I don't pay money to come see like the backup play because you have a scheduled day of rest like that.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't make Roy doesn't make the cut. So he had extra time on. The whole thing is just, and it's not like he got, it's not like it's a fine. It'd be one thing if he was fined $3 million. So he had to pay his own money. It's just extra PIP money that he's not going to get. So
yeah, so it doesn't make any difference.
It's just like, this is a bonus that you're just going to get a little bit less of than you would have had you come to this tournament. So it's not even really a fine or a penalty. It's just like,
it's like a pay cut.
Theoretical money you're not going to get.
Especially after he just extended his, deal with TaylorMade. Yeah, I don't think he's worried about it. The guy probably has more money. You notice he doesn't have nearly as many sponsors as other golfers, and that's probably because he's making way more money than him, and he doesn't need it. So, sure. But what a freaking playoff, though. I mean, Fitzy and Spieth. Oh my God, Spieth had it. Spieth should have won that playoff, hands down. But
I know
Fitzpatrick did it in style, and actually, when he hit that second shot, I called it. That second 9-iron that he hit, I was just like, he's going to take a little bit off this one. He's aiming to that tower on the left, a little baby cut. And I can't believe the ball stopped as fast as it did. I thought it was going to go in the freaking hole. Like, that ball came to a halting stop. I was like, this has to go in. Like, Spieth gave it a good run. I mean, it's cool to see. I want Spieth to peak for the PGA so he can get the career Grand Slam. So I'm not going to say I don't want him to win, but I feel like when these golfers, they win, that kind of like, oh, that was the 4 days. You know what I mean? And it's hard to kind of bring it back up to that 2 weeks later. I kind of want to see him keep flirting around those, playoffs, top fives, and all these other events. And then the PGA really peak and get that career Grand Slam. I think that'd be absolutely epic.
I agree. I think, kind of back to the actual playoff. Everybody thought he made that putt on the first hole,
And the second
another
one.
putt to win on the second hole, and it's this is an old sport. It's true for a reason. Is just like you can't leave that many good player, and Matty Fitz is too good of a player to leave him, 3 chances. Then he's going to take advantage. Like Spieth should have shut the door, because we all know putting, even from pros, distances he was putting at, like they're not guaranteed. So I get that. But it was just and I'm not saying that. I don't think that Jordan Spieth like lost it, because I know how like tough making those putts is. It was just bound to happen that, you gave Matty 3 lives, and so he took advantage of it.
Yeah, you can't leave the door open for guys like that. I mean, you can't leave the door open for anybody that's on tour. You know what I mean? Like, that you just can't do it. Like, you have to close that door as soon as you can. But it was a good playoff. It was a great event, especially in the heels of the Masters. Because I feel like this one would have had a little bit more drama than the Masters did. Because once you get in the final 4 or 5 holes at Augusta, like, you more or less I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I'm getting harassed by some guy that, it said he had a podcast, never did an episode. Anyways, what's that about?
Pretty rough.
But we didn't get much drama in the last 5 holes at Augusta, because you pretty much knew how it was all going to go down. But here, like, it was like, and Spieth having to make that putt to get in the playoff and everything. Absolutely, it was a very good event on the heels of the Masters. And I'm looking forward to the Zurich. I'm not going to lie, but I don't know. Did you take a look at the leaderboard at the RBC?
I'm not looking at it currently, but I remember what it is.
It was stacked. You had Fitzpatrick and Spieth tie for. They had Cantlay, you had Xander, you had Tigala, you had Hayden Buckley up there, which is always fun. You got Griot. God, if that guy could putt, could you imagine how many tournaments he would have won by now? Cam Davis, Sanjay M, Scheffler was up there for Fowler. He's at like 7. He's like 50. He's up back to 52nd in the world. He's at like 7 top 20s or something like that, and like his last like 9 starts or 10 starts or something like that. So happy to see him play well, man. He's knocking on the door. He gets a win this year. I just want to see him on a Ryder Cup team. I just want him back in the mix. I think he's just so good for golf, and just not having him there. And also, there was that fear of losing him to. I'm gonna be honest. I was afraid we were gonna lose him to Liv. I really did.
For sure.
Speaking of Liv, something happened there. Oh, do you see what Norman just said the other day about? Oh, we have this list of golfers that are like, waiting to come onto the tour. I'm like, dude, last time you said that, you signed like Mito Pereira and a couple other guys. Like, just stop. And like, not to get political, because I'm not like pro-Trump, anti-Trump, or anything like that, but he's starting to sound like Trump. You just keep saying things just to say them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But you have Scheffler up there, Fowler, Sam Burns, Tommy Fleetwood, Rahm, Hatton, Kuchar. Yeah. Kuchar's been playing some good golf lately.
There's Sahith Theegala, my boy. I love that dude. I think he had he had 15 at the Masters and follows it up with a T5 here. So, that guy can just play some golf.
Is he under the American flag?
I want to say so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Where was he? I just saw his name. He is. Could you imagine having him on a Ryder Cup team? Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Fun. Yeah, him and Finau both. I bet them together would just be. Well, actually, they're kind of like the same golfer to me. I'm going to be honest with you. They both play ping. They both have a similar golf swing. They both have a similar putting stroke. That's obviously the only similarities. Like I that would be freaking rad, right?
That'd be a cool team. That'd be a cool team. I think that'd be a fun team to watch play in a Ryder Cup. 100%.
Oh yeah.
And especially because he's a rookie and he's playing so well. It's one of those things where I feel like Sahith still getting harassed. I see.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I think Sahith is just, I don't want to say immature enough, but just inexperienced enough, being a rookie, that he could go out there and just light up the Ryder Cup, because it's almost like
he's free.
The gravity of the situation wouldn't affect him as much.
Yeah, he's still free in all of it. You know what I mean? And think about how he got on the PGA Tour. His first start was at a Korn Ferry exempt event.
Right.
I don't believe he had actually earned his tour card. He just played so well that he ended up on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So, there was like this normal progression of growth here. You know what I mean? It is like he was here and then he skipped this and now he's here. You know what I mean? So I think there's still some maturing that he's learning how to win has a lot to do with it. And like I kind of said about Cameron Young, like the moment these guys get their first win, everything changes. Everything changes. Look what happened with Homa. All it takes is that one win. And honestly, from a purely talent perspective, I think Cameron Young and maybe even Sahith has a better skill set than Homa does. Love Homa. He's like a bulldog. You know what I mean? Like he just grinds it out. But I think just as if you just look at his skill set and statistically, I think Cameron Young, a guy like Cameron Young, has much more upside than a guy like Homa does. You know what I mean? So imagine when he gets his first win. I think it's gonna be dangerous, especially. I mean, it's gonna be freaking awesome. There hasn't been many like the first time winners like this year. It hasn't been as big as it was, and I think that might be because of the elevated events a little bit though too.
Yeah,
that might be why.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that is a huge reason, right? Because now you're going to see these guys 20 times a year, hopefully, whereas they were spaced out, and so you may only have gotten a quarter of those guys at an event. Now you're getting 19 out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
That was a jab at Rory, by the way. So yeah, I mean, I play a factor into it, and then you're seeing guys kind of reemerge. So even at the weaker fields, which we really love on this podcast, we are a weaker field fan. You get guys like Chris Kirk or guys who have been here before winning instead of kind of newcomers. So, it's fun. It's a nice little change of pace.
Game-changing win. And to me, it almost makes it a little bit easier for them to win and get that game changing and then get into the designated events. And then they get to compete with the best. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why people don't like the staggered fields and like how weak fields and strong fields. But it's almost like, okay, you got through Korn Ferry. Now you're on the PGA Tour. And now there's almost like an elite PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. So if you do well enough in the middle here, you'll get to be with the elite. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the cool thing. Instead of being like, oh, I just made the PGA Tour and you're just floating around. It's like, no, my next goal is to be in these designated events. Like it's no longer just trying to get into majors. It's trying to get in there and compete with these top 20 guys in the world. Right. So I think it is a different vetting process, and I see people's issue with it. But at the same time, though, I think it gives them a better chance at securing the tour card and carving their name into the earth a little bit better.
No, agreed. And I think, if it were me and I was a newcomer to the PGA, almost so sorry. I have a frog in my throat I can't get rid of. I would almost want it more that way. Because it's like I can really kind of cut my teeth at these non-designated events and almost kind of like build up my bankroll a little bit. Like you said, like once I can kind of get comfortable in these non-designated events, and then I can really kind of build my status to be able to get experience under my belt. So I'm not just jumping in and having to play against, these top fields all the time and then either not making the cut or barely scraping by to even make a living. So I think from that perspective, as a new player or as a player who maybe isn't like, up as high in the rankings, like I would almost look forward to those events because that really gives me a chance to finish high, earn some money, earn some points, and kind of get that experience under my belt.
Yeah. No, it teaches them how to win. So like you're going into these designated events with the experience of winning. Now all of a sudden you're not going there as some rookie just kind of like scared to shit of what's going to happen. You don't want to look stupid. Now I don't think these guys have that mentality, but there's that element of fear and anxiety. But now you're going in there as a winner. You're going in there with the PGA Tour win under your belt, and I think that does a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But that is just for me. That's just my opinion. Obviously, not the popular opinion.
What have we been concerned about the popular opinion?
Very valid point. Very valid point. Speaking of, let's go to Tiger Woods surgery. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? What do you think is going to happen here? I saw something today. It's 2025. If he's even going to play in 2025, I don't know if that's true or not. I think people are just making assumptions.
Yeah, here. I've seen a lot of different stuff on it. Like they were doing the procedure, 10 to 12 week recovery based what everybody's reading. I mean, they haven't come out with official recovery time for him. I mean, it clearly just based on what they're talking about, he's probably out the rest of this year. Like, I don't think we see him at all this summer. So I think you can basically kiss the Open, the PGA, and the U.S. Open goodbye there. After that, I mean, I don't know. There's really nothing else that he will qualify or want to play in. So we may again see him at his event, or again the PNC maybe, or another one of these matches.
I would bet on PNC.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it just kind of seems to be the typical storyline for him. Is he tries to come back once, he plays twice, and then he re-aggravates something. So, I mean, it's heartbreaking. Like we all want to see him out there. I know I like he just needs to retire and that kind of stuff. He's just one of those guys. He's just one of those guys that I just feel like has earned the right to get to do whatever he wants. So I don't think he has to retire. I think he can come back and play whatever he wants. Nobody's not going to allow him to play in any event. He's never going to probably be up there in the world rankings again, but he doesn't need that. He's got nothing else to prove from that perspective. So, I mean, it's sad, but, based on how he was limping and all of those things, it probably seems like it's for the best if he's developing arthritis in that spot. So hopefully that helps. I just don't know how many surgeries a person can have and still be expected to like come back and play and cleaning things out or making things better. It just seems like the less amount of times you go under the knife, the better off you are.
Oh, for sure. See, I'm holding on to hope still. I'm hoping it's kind of like the back fusion thing where he's going to keep chipping away at it. And eventually it's going to be good enough where it's not going to be a big problem for him. But I feel like if that was the case, he would have already done it by now. Then again, with this whole back thing, I felt like that was the same exact situation where they just kept going in and going in and going in. And eventually it took. I mean, if I was Tiger, I'd have a freaking robotic knee at this point. I wouldn't care. Or robotic ankle. Just fix it. I don't want to be in pain. I want to play professional golf. I mean, hell, I think you could arguably cut his foot off, give him something else, and he would compete better that way. I mean, he would find a way. It's freaking Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? So I'm holding on to hope, but it's not looking it's just heartbreaking because God, when we grew up watching him. So it's hard for golf, but I think also golf is in a good enough spot now that we don't need Tiger. I feel like the people that are obsessed with Tiger that are like our parents' age, they're phasing out where the new generation isn't focused on Tiger anymore. Yeah. And that could be part of the plan is like maybe we're just trying to have Tiger in the game as long as possible because that when he does decide to leave, the game is in a healthy enough place that we don't need him anymore. It isn't be weird not having him part of the conversation because my entire life he's been part of the conversation. So for him to not be anymore would be wild to me. It's like, like who we all want someone dominant. You know what I mean? We all wanted a Michael Jordan. We all Tiger Woods, we love that. So who's the next dominant golfer if there is one? The thing is like all these guys have come up watching Tiger and they're all so good. How do you that's a hard spot to fill. I mean, there's always one though. I mean, after Jack, I'm sure they thought there wasn't going to be anyone else. You know what I mean? And there was Tiger. So you never know. I just hope I like the guy. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you look at that kind of trend, Tiger really didn't come around until Jack was basically already done. I mean, Jack was basically retired playing ceremonious golf or a little bit of senior tour golf. Same thing with if you want to, I cannot stand LeBron James, but I know he gets compared to Michael Jordan greatest of all time. And, LeBron didn't come until Jordan was already done or not really competitive anymore. So, I think we have to wait. And there's kind of like a blessing in this, in that Tiger's kind of giving us like a slow, fade. I don't want to say fall from grace because I don't think that's what it is, but it's just kind of a slow fade off into the distance. And so I think that's better for us who are Tiger fans because okay, I get to watch him a little bit
at a time, and it doesn't seem like such a loss when it's gradual, as opposed to him just like had he like died in that car accident or lost his leg and was just done.
Yeah,
that would have been, I think, just like devastating to the golf world. But because they're still playing and still even making cuts at majors, which is, again, he made the cut, Roy didn't make the cut, so you can have that debate all you want. I think that makes it a little bit easier to swallow, but it will just sad the day that he's done, and it'll just be weird to see him in a cart trolling around on the senior tour.
He might tear up the senior tour. Easy pins, he could light it up.
Oh,
Maybe he'll just go set some records on the senior tour.
Yeah, I was just talking to Brady Paul today, and he was just like, could be the first person with a junior amateur win, a U.S. amateur, a U.S. Open, and a senior Open. That would be a crazy feat.
Yeah, no, I feel like now he has to do it.
Well, he said that he wants to. I mean, he was talking about the Masters, so we'll see.
I can't blame him. I mean, just make as much history as humanly possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, we get a senior or Champions Tour event over here in St. Louis, so I would love that because that's like the only thing we get. Any PGA Tour event, we had the PGA Championship, which was awesome. I didn't get to go because I had to work, but it was so packed. Like I'm short, so I wouldn't have been able to see anything. I like admitted defeat before I even got them. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like I won't be able to get through the crowds or see anybody or do anything. Like I'm not gonna do this. I still should have went, but
yeah,
I hate being short.
Sorry, I missed what you
out
said.
Loud. I said I hate being short. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean I'm not the tallest guy, but I understand.
Yeah, I have to wear shoes to be 5'7". It's painful. All right. So have you taken a look at the Zurich field yet this week?
I have a little bit, yeah. What are you thinking?
Man, so sleeper pick, I'm going Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin. That's my sleeper pick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like Adam Hadwin.
I like the course. They're both been playing very well. This is a good format for them. You know what I mean? Morikawa and Homa could play well together. I mean, there's so many teams. Siwoo and Tom Kim would be interesting to see light it up. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm rooting for them this week because I love Siwoo and I love Tom Kim. I want to see Tom Kim just set the world on fire. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I do too.
Dude's freaking so cool. And also Sam Burns and Billy Ho, like that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough team. This is a great line. We got Fitzpatrick with his brother. We got all kinds of names in this. You got one of the Holgard brothers in this with Thorbjorn Olsen. I always struggle to say his name.
That's okay.
Harris English and Tom Hogue. That's actually, in my opinion, a very dangerous team. Especially the way Hogue's been playing, or Hoagie, however you say it. I feel weird calling him Hoagie because I feel like I'm calling him food. That's just not. It's just I feel bad. I hope that's not actually his name. Then you got Xander and Cantlay, who I think are the favorite. I don't have. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I think maybe I just don't want them to win because of Cantlay slow play, and I don't want them in the final group. Well, actually, I would want them in the final group because then when everyone can finish, instead of like me watching golf completely being dependent on them being in the middle of it and holding up pace of play.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to see Billy Horschel win. I know he's won there twice, and I think this is a perfect event for him to win. I'll tell you the most exciting I can't wait to watch is I don't know if you heard this, is Daly and Duval are going to be 100%. Together. They're going to be I'm going to pick him as my sleeper pick just because I want such a deep sleeper that if it happens, I want to be on record on the podcast saying that I picked him.
The coma pick.
Yeah, exactly right. You're right. The long-term coma pick, Daly and Duval. That's just going to be a fun group. I cannot wait to watch those guys. Just like,
how did that happen? Do you know? Like, I never in a million years would have gone like Daly and Duval are going to team up one day. Like,
it's awesome.
But Duval teamed up with Tiger like back in the day. Now he's like coming around like 180 to Daly. I'm like, it's just so interesting to see that. It'd be cool to see him light it up, though.
This would be a perfect event for Tiger to play in, by the way, because it takes the pressure off having to hit every shot.
True.
So I wish he could have paid in something like this.
Yeah, I don't see him ever playing at an event like this. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I don't necessarily either. I was just saying this would be a cool event for him to play with because it's kind of more of a relaxed one.
Justin
And he
Saw,
doesn't have to hit as many shots.
Saw, and Tagala. That could be a dangerous team.
That could be a fun team, and also Keith Mitchell and Sunjay M could be a fun
That's
team.
an interesting team. I want to know how they got those. For me, it's like more or less like, how do these guys get together?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I wonder if it's just
Like,
like, hey, we ran. Do you guys just want to be partners?
See, like Morikawa and Homa, they did practice rounds at Augusta. M and Mitchell, I don't understand any connection between the two of them. Siwoo and Tom make sense. Burns and Billy Ho make sense. Fitzpatrick brothers make sense. Actually, I want to watch them because I want to see Alex play. Apparently, Alex is a hell of a player, and Lib tried poaching him. And he said no, but I think his brother had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they just try to poach him because they wanted Matt and they thought they had the other Fitzpatrick, that Matt would come kind of like a Koepka situation?
Or they're just trying to just be assholes and ruffle feathers, to be honest with you.
So is it Adam Fitzpatrick? Adam?
Alex.
Name? Alex, sorry. Did Alex turn pro? Like, I don't know. I know. Like,
I think
I'm guessing if you're playing in this event.
I think he's a DP guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I've never seen him in any other event. It could be a sponsor thing, you know what I mean? Fitzpatrick just winning that last tournament, and I'm sure he already knew his brother was going to be his partner, but being the U.S. Open champion, doing the whole TGL with Tiger, I'm thoroughly convinced there's a lot of politics involved in this anymore, because now it's all about preservation of the game and growing the PGA Tour, which means that they're going to be leaning in and out of the rules a little bit, you know what I mean? Just to preserve the PGA Tour, make it big. So that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But that'd be my guess. Did you see the interview with John Rahm and Colton knows about all the rules with wearing the green jacket?
No, I did not. I totally missed that.
Like, apparently, if you're going to do any appearances, you need to have permission. You need to have permission to have any appearances. You can't be drinking alcohol while wearing the green jacket. The lowest you could dress down is golf clothes inside the green jacket. Like, there are like a laundry list of rules while wearing this and doing appearances with it. Because like while you're wearing it, you're representing Augusta. Do not screw that up. Yeah,
Augusta seems to not like give like a rat's ass who you are.
I kind of love that about them, though.
Yeah, I kind of do too. But also it's kind of just like a little over the top. But at the same time, you know, it is kind of cool to have that old school feel of like, you represent us. Nobody's bigger than that. Although, I mean, clearly they let Rory play. He played 81 holes in the 2 weeks leading up to the Masters, which is crazy amount.
Yeah.
But yet Gary Player can't get on to play, which I thought was interesting. So I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, Augusta's just its own different animal. It kind of seems to be like the...
Well, Gary Player kind of stabbed Augusta, though. Gary Player's kind of been, after the issue with this, I think it was his son doing the golf balls or whatever in the back, and then he said if he had to pick the majors in order, Augusta, the Masters would be at the bottom. Again, I think it's politics, you know what I mean? And also, I think Augusta, think of it from Augusta's perspective. If Rory gets the career Grand Slam by winning the green jacket at Augusta, that's huge. I feel like they're pulling for him. They want him to win, because what a way to win the green jacket. And also, he's the face of the PGA Tour. So, yeah, they're going to give him a little bit more leeway, probably.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I'm just saying it's interesting how, like, Augusta seems to be like the shadow government of the PGA Tour. You know what I mean? Like, the PGA Tour runs things, but really Augusta runs things. And that's kind of how it seems like to me, because everybody just runs on, like, Augusta time.
Yeah. I kind of like it, though. I have so many people harassing me right now.
You turn off your notifications and focus on what we're doing.
I'm trying to, but I don't know how to turn them off everywhere. Like, I'm not good with technology. That's why I need you to live stream it.
Sorry, everybody. We're very professional here.
Obviously. But yeah, no, I kind of like that about Augusta. The fact that they're able to do everything themselves and they don't have to pander to anyone else. I respect it. Because there's not much of that left anymore. If you look at anything from like different businesses and everyone like that, they're always pandering to somebody. And Augusta's just here with a big middle finger to everybody all the time. And I respect that. I respect the hell out of it. You know what I mean? I respect the fact that they go, No, we don't have to. We don't have to play by anyone else's rules, and we're not going to. Like, it shows me that there's a little bit left. You know what I mean? There's someone out there that's not afraid to back down from social pressure, political pressure, whatever it might be. Like, they make their own rules and they live and die by them, and I respect the hell out of that. Not that I always agree with everyone's rules, but hey, I hit the conviction alone is amazing.
Right. Well, it helps when you're the most popular kid in school. Like, Augusta's the most popular kid in school. Everybody wants to be you, or everybody wants to be with you. Like, they are. They're like the most popular kid. And so they get to like kind of dictate how the playground runs. Because everybody is like looking to them as, you know, kind of like this guru. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean.
You remind me that with a Boondock Saints guy with a make like a tree and get the F out of here. You know what I mean?
That's such a good movie. Gosh, what an
such a good
underrated movie, but so good.
No, but yeah, no, I respect that. I respect what Augusta does, despite how much everyone kind of shits on them for that. I'm like, get over it. You just like it because they're not playing by your rules. You're mad because they're not pandering to you. That's 100% what it is. Like, this has nothing to do with the way that they do things. You're just mad that they're not paying you any attention. So,
yeah, exactly right.
100% true.
Any gear news that we need to talk about this week?
I finally have 3 wedges in my bag. I got my 50, 54, and 58. TCBs, I won't get them till like May, like end of May now, maybe.
Yeah, those are rough.
It's torturous for me right now because I know, because they're two, like I said, 2 degrees weaker, heavier shafts. It's going to be a little bit of a learning experience, and I want to just learn it. And I'm anxious, and I want new clubs, and I want my new bag, and I want all of that stuff. Not really, no. I might loft my driver down a little bit. Still scorching that freaking hybrid. I'm like, God, I love that club. Love that club.
That's a great club.
Well, not really, no. I love the putter. I'm getting used to the 5K. I love having it in the bag. Like, I need a cool head cover for it, though. If anyone knows where to get a cool custom head cover, that'd be dope to let me know.
Do you have a 7?
7S.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be on the lookout. We can talk offline. I think I have a couple different places you can look. But so I do know Mizuno and TaylorMade and Cobra, I think. Cobra did a little earlier. They all came out with black versions of their irons.
Titleist has them too.
Titleist did it, yep. So they did what, the T200 and the T100.
Yeah. Callaway has the Apex black.
TaylorMade, which just dropped, and Mizuno just dropped the 225. So those are all in black now, which is minor but really cool.
Did you hear about how the Cobra? So I was talking to somebody about this, and he said he had the Cobra Black, the Forge Tax or whatever, and he said they felt like garbage. Apparently, the black finish, it does not feel as good with the black finish on it.
I did not know that. I haven't heard that. I haven't hit those. I think the original Forge, the Forge Tech Chrome feels amazing. One of the best feeling irons out there, in my opinion. But no, I hadn't heard that. That's too bad.
Yeah, I haven't hit them personally, but if that's true, that seems like a major oversight on their part, man. Like, how did you let that happen? Like, that's, you go and test out the chromes, you love them, you order them in black, you're like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like, that was I'm not saying that's the case. This is just one person's account of it. So I'm not sitting here shitting on Cobra kind of thing, but it's interesting. It makes me want to get the chrome and get the black and not buy them. I don't need to buy anything, but like, just test them head to head and see what it feels like.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome because I have the Forge Tech sitting here, but I'd love the black. Even if Cobra, if you're listening, just send us one iron and we'll get the test done.
Yeah, and if you pay us, we'll tell you everyone does the same.
I often wonder that about black irons. I mean, I played the black P790s forever, but I never actually played the chrome 790s. So that's an interesting thought, but that's too bad about the Forge Techs because they feel so good in the regular finish that it's just wild that they would be that different.
Yeah, they felt too soft for me. I wasn't a big fan of the feel of them. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair.
I'm getting used to the Chrome Soft X. I actually think I hit it longer than the Chrome Soft X LS.
Really?
It freaking flies off the face, man. I don't know why. But it's fast. It's a fast golf ball. Like I'm finally kind of adapting to it. I like it better on the greens. It's softer to putt with, which I prefer. Having the 5K with the LS felt a little clicky to me, but the regular Chrome Soft X with it just feels absolutely beautiful. So I'm adapting to that. Yeah, no, not a whole lot of gear news. I'm just waiting on my irons, man. Like that's about it. I'll have a lot to talk about when I get those irons. So, but I'm excited to. So I have a 50, a 54, and a 58. I ordered the TCBs down through the A wedge, and I'm going to tinker with the 3-wedge setup again. Even though I'm a diehard and carrying the A wedge in the bag, but I feel like if I'm striking the ball well, that I would be able to do more with a 50-degree wedge than I would like just a standard A wedge. So there will be some tinkering. Since I have an extra slot in my bag at the moment, I might as well just go out. I'm playing 36 holes this Saturday, and I'll have plenty of time to get out there and dial it up. I'm trying to get our buddy, curated buddy Andrew Shang out there with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've actually never golfed with the kid, and he lives like 8 minutes away from me. It's a shame, but he's busy like I am too, so that's probably why. And he likes to go. He's like one of those guys that likes to like, yeah, let's get our tee off at 7:30. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like the only way I'm teeing off for 7:30 is if it's a tournament or it's a really sick golf course or something like that. Like I'm not voluntarily getting up that early to go tee off. Like that's not a thing.
That's my favorite time. Tee me off at 6:30 in the morning. Let's get going.
No.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes.
All right. So I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, yes. Okay. Rapid fire.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Twizzlers or Swedish Fish?
Twizzlers. Swedish Fish are disgusting.
Oh, dude, you're so wrong. Card or caddy?
I've never, ever played golf with a caddy in my life.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a hell of an experience.
Oh, I know. I want to. I never get to go to fun places with caddies.
Dude, it's caddy all day.
That's not true. I've played golf one time in a tournament with a caddy. Now that I totally had spaced that out. Caddies are pretty cool. I've only done it one time.
See, I love walking down the fairway, not carrying my bag. To me,
that's gotta be. Yeah.
If there is a heaven, it is walking down St. Andrews, playing golf with a caddy, like not carrying my clubs, or he'd be carrying my clubs. I wouldn't be carrying my clubs. Anyways, wooden tees or plastic tees?
Thank you for. You have a caddy, but you have to carry your own clubs. That is heaven. He just walks with me. We just chat.
I just need a companion.
That's so funny. Okay,
right,
sorry. Next one.
Wooden tees or plastic tees?
Wooden tees.
Thank God you said. I was about to reach through the screen. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan. I can't stand LeBron.
Yeah, right there with you. Tigers putting or DJ's driving?
Tigers putting.
Masters or U.S. Open win?
Masters.
Augusta or Pebble Beach?
Augusta.
See, that wasn't so hard. I agree with pretty much all of those except for the Swedish Fish thing.
Okay, I have some for you. Are you ready?
No, I'm not.
Okay, too bad. They're not hard. What is your personal record for bench press?
Oh God, 220.
Okay, nice. Your workout, so I figured that question was fair game.
Was not ready for that.
I know. I figured that was a good one. What is your favorite cheat meal?
Oh God. Okay, this is elaborate. You got to hear me out on this. So I make like a peanut butter banana and jelly like toast, but like a grilled cheese. But on one side I put like the butter on the pan. The other side I put maple syrup on it. So you're like, you know how you make a grilled cheese? Mm-hmm. So like warms up the peanut butter and then the bananas in the middle and then the jelly, but you have maple syrup on top of it. Absolutely love that. That is my jam, dude.
That sounds good, except for the bananas, because warm fruit is horrendous.
I love warm fruit.
Yeah, warm fruit shouldn't be allowed in this world or the next.
Dude, Sierra bananas and a pan with some cinnamon. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. All right. Favorite pizza topping?
Oh, pineapple.
Oh God, you are just failing this so bad. Pineapple should, yeah, you guys ruined pizza. Favorite exercise to do in the gym?
Oh, favorite exercise would probably have to be shoulder press. Cool. I like shoulders, man. I like shoulders.
Fair enough. You have great ones, so I'm glad you should like them.
I work hard at it.
Favorite TV show? All time.
Seinfeld.
Ah, good call.
Yeah.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, it's changed as of recently. Anything with toffee in it.
Really? Man, you're such an interesting cat. I'm learning so much about you right now. The mountains or the beach?
Just like to hang out or to golf?
just to hang out?
Beach.
Okay. Fair enough. Favorite season and why?
Oh, probably fall because I love wearing pants. Like during spring and summer, I feel like I have to wear shorts, but I love wearing pants. It's like perfect pants golf weather.
Yeah. I feel like St. Louis has a pretty long pants season, or can.
Yeah, you can be wearing shorts one day and then a sweater the next. We can do it within 12 hours.
That's fair. Do you have any superstitions that you do?
Oh gosh. I burn sage when shit gets real bad.
Okay.
Other than that, not really. I'm a little OCD. Like I do math with clocks and stuff like that, but that's my own personal issue.
Okay.
Like if I see the time, like say
Yeah.
it's 11:22, I'm like, it's like 11 times 2 is 22. Like I did too many times tables as a kid that I have to do that, you know?
That's hilarious. So you do it even when you don't have to.
Yeah, no, I just do it. Yeah, it's weird.
That's awesome. Who's your favorite? If you could have a dream round with one non-golfer, who would it be?
like an actor or somebody, or like
Yeah, it could be anybody. I mean, like, like maybe like famous non-golfer you'd like to play golf with.
Oh God, I've never thought about this one. Corey Taylor, lead singer of Slipknot. That'd be fucking cool. That'd be cool.
Wow, that is a deep cut right there.
That'd be cool.
Favorite course you've ever played and why?
That I have ever played?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. God, I love St. Andrews just because it's like a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Aside from just like historic wise, I love Ballybunion. It's like playing on a different planet. Like they literally carved it out of the mountains. It's just you're out there in the middle of nowhere. It is absolutely stunning.
That's awesome. Would you rather win a Ryder Cup or a major?
Am I the reason they won the Ryder Cup? Or am I just participating in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah. Okay, would you rather sink the final putt to win the Ryder Cup or sink the final putt on 18 to win the major?
Ryder Cup.
Oh, wow.
Easy. Dude, that's historic. Yes, absolutely. You imagine the party? Do you imagine how freaking awesome it would be to make the winning putt to beat the Europeans in the Ryder Cup?
Awesome on 18 that wins the Masters?
Yeah, I know, but it's like Ryder Cup. Like you just won America. Like you just won
America.
You won America.
I have two more. If you weren't a golfer, what sport would you play, and would you be any good at it?
I probably would have stuck with baseball, and I think I would have been good at it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Me too.
Yeah.
And then talking or texting?
Talking. I'm a much better talker than I'm a texter. But if I'm avoiding people, text.
No wonder I get so many texts from you.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I avoid human beings.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's not that I avoid human beings. It's just I'm constantly in social interactions with people, whether it's working or it's curated through the screen or waiting tables or my kids or this. Like I will literally show up to work 10, 15 minutes early and just sit there in my car in silence, just so I feel a little bit of peace.
I understand that feeling for sure.
I know you do.
I understand that for sure. So
that's funny.
All right. Good. Anything else?
Nah.
Perfect.
We'll be all right. We got the Zurich to talk about next week. We have another major sneaking up as well. I think Liv has an event coming up. We can just shit talk Liv a little bit. That's always fun.
Yeah, that is always fun. We do that a lot. So
I just want to point out something real quick here. I'm going to call it out on the podcast because I know they're watching. Perfect. I don't know if you've got any messages.
Got one.
Between Mr. Harris and Bobby, they have not made this an easy night for me whatsoever.
Thankfully, they've not harassed me. I have got Mr. Harris and none from Mike or none from Bobby. So thankfully, they've left me alone. But I'm just not the popular one. So they just leave me be.
He actually answered all of your questions.
Perfect.
All of the questions you asked me, he answered all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
That's hilarious.
He's like, don't worry, Ryan is next.
That'll
good
be
to know.
next week. Next week, I'll be the one that's harassed, and you'll get the week off.
Thank God. I need a break.
Yeah.
But remember,
Maybe
everyone.
maybe instead of them both bothering us, they should have been filming their own first episode of their podcast.
Mic drop.
So that's episode 11. Honestly, though, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for Bobby and Mike being to who watched this live. All of the things that you do for influencers and podcasters. Leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts honestly helps us grow. Which, again, 5 stars if you feel we've deserved it, and a review. Following us on YouTube, Instagram, Ryan Hernandez Golf, PGR Scratch Golf. We love you guys. We love doing this. We'll be back next week, regardless of if anybody's listening or not. But we appreciate the support, so we'll see you next time.
100%. And just let everyone know, he's blue check now. Like, he didn't pay for it. So he's kind of a big deal. So I'm just saying.
Wild story, but I don't know. So yeah, you can follow blue check if you want. I don't do anything differently, so I don't really know what that gets me, but it looks cool on the old comment section.
It's always cool when you get notifications from blue checks. You're like, oh, someone really cool. Someone really
That's
cool.
true.
Like
Although it's devalued now that you can pay for it, and there's no way to tell like who's paid for it and who hasn't. So, yeah. So I'm just like, I'm obviously seeing more blue checks than ever on Instagram now.
I refuse to pay. I'm gonna dig it out of the dirt.
Good for you.
Yeah, Batman. Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.